Hello everyone, this is going to be the second part of the Taroscope covering the full moon into Libra, guys. That is happening March 31st, 2018. And the first part was covering Aries to Virgo, so now we are going to cover up Libra to Pisces. So let me shuffle now the cards, and this will be the 5-card spread, which I usually use when it comes to lunar cycles. And the first card of the spread is going to represent the lunar cycle itself. The second card is going to show up the challenges one is going to tackle with. The third card is going to represent the intentions that one can have during that particular lunar cycle. And these three cards, guys, are reflecting the material aspect of the cycle itself. The fourth card shows the lesson that one is about to learn during this lunar cycle, and the fifth card is showing up the energies which are going to support the individual moving through that lunar cycle. And this, the fourth and the fifth card, are representing the ethereal aspect of the lunar cycle, or the spiritual aspect. Okay, so that being said, without further ado, let's jump into Libra. I'm cutting now, and the first card for Libra, that will be the Four of Pentacles, representing the lunar cycle itself. The second card is going to be the challenges, and that is justice. The third card showing up the intentions, what Libra can have, that is the Queen of Swords. The third card, guys, showing up the lesson, what one needs to learn. This is the Eight of Cups. And the final card are the energies. We have the Knight of Cups. So let's put these couple of cards aside for now, and let's focus on the material aspect. So what it looks like here is, because we do have the Four of Pentacles, excuse me, it does look like that you will be solidifying your positions in the sense of career aspect and in the sense of relationship aspect. It does look like that you will take on defensive measures against your personal possessions, either not just material possessions, guys, but also a standing points that you do have, either a defensive defensive position regarding your marriage, defensive position regarding a project that you are running, or defensive position regarding career place as well. What is important here to be notified is that you will very quickly acknowledge during this lunar cycle poignant experiences you do had in the recent past, and you will seriously draw from them the necessary experience required in order for you to deflect hostility, to avoid making mistakes, as well to avoid getting into confrontation with adversaries, in case you do have any. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is that you Libras will be able to really establish yourself a very solid path how to advance on forward, and a very systematic plan and strategy for yourself how to, for example, escape misfortune, and in general how to put yourself into a very comfortable position regarding, as I said, your family or your career. The Justice card, it is coming up as a challenge where you need to be accountable for yourself foremost. That card usually comes where you're going to have certain revelations for oneself, which you're going to find very hard to believe in, and that could baffle you in a sense that you will try to search for a rational explanation why a certain situation is developing that way, even though you have the arguments right in your face, and you will wonder why I couldn't not seen that until now. When Justice card comes in, the truth always comes to play into light, and because it's in a challenging position, it is you have the challenge to accept that truth. But this doesn't make you driving toward the fantasies or toward the fictions. Just on the contrary, the harder the truth is to be accepted, the more you will pay attention into it, and the more facts you will be able to extract from that particular truth. Very important here is to be organized, when you tackle with responsibilities, and especially when it comes to relationship, you need to seek that equilibrium. This is going to be a challenge here, to be just as equal as your partner is to your partner, excuse me, so you don't allow anybody to, how can I place it, anybody to take advantage of your kindness and to take advantage of your love in general. Career wise, as I said, it is important for you Libras to set your priorities straight and to really make a very accurate strategy for what you need to attend first as an affair and what could seriously wait further for the future. So it's kind of like a setting, as I said, priorities straight for how you will move on along from now on. Now, the next one, it is the lesson that one needs to learn during this lunar cycle for Libras, and that will be the Eight of Cups. Now, Eight of Cups, it is showing up that even though you are facing a rather, I cannot say really misfortunate situation, but obviously not everything will be exactly the way you wanted it to be. You may find yourself into a position where it could have been simply better. Okay, but you have to be humble that this regarding that this is what you can work with right now, and if you kind of paying more attention, not exactly paying more attention, but dive deep into those dwellings of what you can work with at this particular moment, you can really reach a serious progress, guys, instead of wishing to have more to work with, because for what it seems a brighter perspective is coming in right now, and it just needs time. So for the time being, it will be wiser for you to just turn your look and start glancing upon the affairs and upon the situations in general that you can alter with at this particular moment, and for those that you cannot do anything about it, leave them for now aside, because in the future you will have that opening you require in order to start altering these outcomes. And last but not least, we do have the energies which are going to support you. That will be the energy of the Knight of Cups. So it does look like, guys, that you will not be conservative about your toils. So you will really be able to put a hard work into the affairs you're attending to, and you will not slack nor for a second. It is because the energies itself will drive you to be a perfectionist, and there is nothing wrong with that. These energies are saving you from being frantic about your performance. These energies are saving you from having a fake hope as well of how things are going to develop, because these energies are going to put you in a state that you will believe that it can be just as good as you can make it. Okay, so that being said, you will be striving for that perfectionism, because if you do, and if you be perfect into your performance, then perfection is what you are going to reach eventually. Okay, so that was for Libra, guys. Now let me shuffle and we can go to Scorpio. All right, so Scorpio, the first card showing up, the topic of the lunar cycle, that will be the Eight of Cups. The second card showing up, wow, we do have repentance, repentance of the cards, though I made a refill shuffle, which is one of the thorough shuffles of the deck. Anyway, so the second card as the challenges, we have the Knight of Cups, guys. The third card, which is intention wise, that will be the Chariot. Then is the lesson what one needs to learn, that will be the Two of Swords, and the last one is the energies. We have the Nine of Wands. Okay, so This lunar cycle will be a revolutionary for you, Scorpio. I need as well these couple of cards because they kind of go together, all five of them, because the ethereal aspect, it is highly connected, Scorpio, to your material aspect as well. So through the realization of the ethereal aspect, you will start influencing your material aspect of your life. So what happens here, guys, is I will start first from the energies, because they are going to play a huge role during this lunar cycle. And the energies as the nine of wands here for you are expressing the conscious need or the conscious realization that one needs to make a certain change into their life, either into the lifestyle, the diet, you know, the way that they perform for work, or the day that they are generally coping with the daily routine. Regardless of that, guys, you are within yourself, you're going to realize that you cannot move on the way that you're doing it right now, and you need to make a certain adaptations. These are not exactly, well, adaptation is not exactly the correct word I need to use here. It is kind of goes like you will try to adapt your environment to yourself. This is what I'm talking about, forcing a conscious changes instead of you adapting to your environment, and it will work out. At least at the start is going to work out. Now the problem here is that it's going to require a lot of work, a lot of toil. It's going to require a lot of experimenting as well, and in certain areas in your life, let's say your relationship or your career, it will be exceptionally difficult. And it is where, guys, you need to keep your emotions in check. We do have the Chariot card as an intention, and for you this comes where you don't outburst, you are patient and tenacious in the same time. You do have your convictions, okay, for changing your situation for the better, and as well being determined, you know, to push it to the very end, because the Chariot in combination with the Knight of Cups is showing a almost heroic efforts from your behalf in order to change, you know, the project that you're working in, the environment into one relationship, your performance, your approach in general toward the activities that you are involved in. And the Eight of Cups here as a topic, it is showing up that you will go against your code of conduct in order to do so. It is showing up that this is something that you would usually won't go for. Let me give you an example, because I am a Scorpio. I will give an example with myself. I am a very emotionally closed person, you know. I don't usually express what I feel and how I feel it, etc., etc. So maybe I need to go a little bit off my way in order to force those changes. I need to show my emotional state and in general what my heart feels more often to the audience and to the to the parties that I'm involved in with, excuse me, like friends, like lovers in case I have any, etc., etc., family as well. And the lesson that you need to learn here, Scorpio, that will be the Two of Swords, guys. And Two of Swords as a lesson is a card where it is showing up that until now you had some premeditated thoughts and deductions regarding a situation in your life, either your career, relationship, friendship, etc. But you're going to find yourself totally wrong, because there was and there is and there always will be a different angle that you can look at the situation. So that is a sense of self-righteousness, okay, which was highly overly exaggerated. And it is when you start forcing those small changes with your habits, for example, with your lifestyle, dieting as well, as I said, etc., etc., you're going to find out that you are not exactly right, you know, to I cannot say insult, but to point fingers in the recent past toward people that actually try to give you an advice, a sense advice. And it's actually a cycle of revelations for you, Scorpio, realizing that you can actually make something happen here. Not exactly something happen, but you can alter something around you, and it will cost you a great deal of effort. It will cost you rearranging, you know, your system of beliefs, your code of conduit, as I said. But at the end, the Eight of Cups, guys, it is always a card showing that a much brighter future it is coming into your in your way. The only thing you need to do, as I said right now, is put the toils in it and start working. If you want that project to succeed, maybe you have to adopt different strategy into it, a strategy that you would usually not have to. If your relationship isn't working out well, you can change that, guys, by taking a different approach toward your relationship, approach that until now you thought it's either stupid or it was beneath your level. So you have to ground yourself, or what I can say here, Scorpio, and work smart instead of hard. But this doesn't mean that you will not work a lot, because working hard and working a lot are two different things. All right, so that was for Scorpio, and now we go to Sagittarius. All right, the first card for Sagittarius showing up the topic of the lunar cycle, that will be the Fool card. The second one, it is showing up the challenges, what one needs to overcome here, that will be the Four of Swords. Third one, guys, that will be the intentions one should have during this lunar cycle. We have the Ten of Cups, then it is the lesson what one needs to learn, that is the Hangman, and then is the energies which are going to support you, the Seven of Wands. All right, so based on the Hangman here in the appearance, I actually, when I look at these three cards, I was kind of baffled, you know, what these cards are actually trying to say. But when I turn out the Hangman, I instantly knew what the cards are saying, and the cards are saying that you have to wait for the appropriate timing for you to execute something that you're trying to, something that you have planned. We do have the Fool card, and in this lunar cycle, guys, you will stay in between two infinities just before the initiation, just before the start, and you need to use that time to scope where you are heading toward and what exactly the pitfalls are when you once embark that path. Having the Ten of Cups here as an intention, guys, shows that how can I really place it, shows that the material reward of whatever you are after, either one relationship or either one career, or it could be a project or a friendship, etc., etc., should not be the first thing and the actual reward from what you are after. Actually, the emotional satisfaction needs to be that. And as well, the Ten of Cups as an intentions, it is always a card showing up that your cups of emotions are overflowing now, and what you need to do, guys, it is striving for more. The issue is that you will be very not uncomfortable, but it's kind of like impatient. We have the Four of Swords as a challenge, and just the fact that nothing is happening right now, because nothing is going to happen for you during this lunar cycle. Sagittarius says that is the fact that you will be frantic about, and you will be scared about, because regardless of your planning and regardless of your preparation as well, nothing really is happening here, and neither into your career, neither into your relationship. Everybody is trying to give you advice, everybody is trying to give you hints as well, you know, but it is easier said than done. And even if you try doing something during this lunar cycle, it's not gonna have have the effect that you want to, because we do have the Hangman as a lesson that you need to learn. And that is exactly the lesson, guys, that everything comes with the right timing and in the right moment, which means that right now for you, that lunar cycle is only about shaping of the idea and shaping of the dream and making it in such a state ready to be materialized when you move on further with your future. So you can expect during this lunar cycle, Sagittarius, is everything to go totally normal, guys. If we're talking about relationships here, it will be most beneficial for you to try to indulge more into the emotional connection into your of your relationship instead of the physical connection as well. But the general idea here for you in this lunar cycle is that you need to make up for yourself what your next perspective is, what your next agenda is, you know, your next project or affair, because it does look like that you are in a pinnacle of something right now, and it's gonna start decaying. And I'm not talking about that you're gonna lose something, it is just the effect of your success is going to start decaying, you know, and you will need something else to feed yourself with. And this is what we're talking about during this lunar cycle. You need to define that new thing that is going to feed up your ego, your sense of being successful, and you know, your sense of being productive as well. So we pretty much covered up the Hangman, and the last one, it is the energies, the Seven of Wands, guys. It does look like that these energies, regardless of that you are going to be frantic about nothing is happening, these energies are going to balance you, because in the Seven of Wands, what is the category of the card is when one is waiting patiently, forced by an opposition, you know, to guard their ground and waiting for the exact moment so they can retaliate back. And this is exactly what happens here. We have the Four of Swords sitting in a challenging card where you're highly aggravated as nothing is happening and you want to do something about it, but in the same time, the energies that are helping you or balancing you from that particular sense, allowing you to have just enough patience, you know, to wait for your moment to come. And your moment, guys, your moment of glory is going to come eventually, as soon as you are capable to shape, as I said, your next perspective and your next agenda for yourself. So that was for Sagittarius. Now let me shuffle, guys, and we go to Capricorns. Alright, so Capricorns, the first card for you guys, which is marking the topic of this lunar cycle, that will be the Four of Swords. The second card showing up the challenges, what you need to overcome, that will be the Wheel of Fortune, and the Star card is intentional wise. Okay, so awesome. We have a highly active elements that are going on around you during this lunar cycle. We have fire in between couple of airs, and that speaks for extreme amounts of passion. Unfortunately, with these cards, the point of direction for your passion is gonna kind of missing. Okay, and that's why we do have the intentional card here, is to find something to look forward to, or something that really gives you the hope of the bright future. Because as I said, a lot of things are gonna move around, you know, and it's gonna happening either into your career and either into your relationship, but you're gonna not find the bigger meaning of all those things. So in other words, you can live without them either way, so it's not going to be that significant for your well-being for the time being, guys. But what you can use this lunar cycle for, Capricorns, is to really catch up your brain, because this is the positive aspect of these three cards, is that you will have just enough time, guys, to recuperate from poignant experience, okay, to recuperate from a recent failure, recent breakup, let's say it that way, also a recent firing as well, or some, how can I place it, some unfair treatment that you have recently received. This particular lunar cycle for you is all about defining what really worth pushing on forward. All the things that are happening around you, there is probably only one that it is worth your attention, and you have to put your attention into it, because the challenge of the wheel of fortune, it is exactly that, guys, the chaos and the too many things moving on around you, and which one you're gonna take on right now. Take your time, guys, because it will be a very important decision for you. Very important here to be said is that you have to focus on the long-term goals rather than to the goals which are giving you a how can I place it, temporary success, okay, a partial success. So whatever prove to you to be loyal, this is the direction you go forward. I'm not talking about only people, you know, it could be also a situations, you know, and affairs. As well as these cards are showing that you can start talking about your plans with someone that you can share with, okay, and they are going to give you a very sound and sensual advice about how you can move on from now on. It's kind of like consulting yourself with therapist, but this time the therapist is going to be your friend or your relative, which is not going to charge you for the session, you know, but in the same time they're going to give you that accurate statement which you needed in general in order to figure out your next step moving on forward. Very important here to be said is that during this lunar cycle you should conserve your strength, and you should start spending more time in in places or with enterprises which are allowing you to relax yourself, to calm yourself, because this lunar cycle for you, as I said, is all about recuperation and restoring your personal strength, because probably after that, guys, quite a large activity is waiting for you. Then we do have the lesson card, and that will be the Tower. So the Tower card here comes with that after one bad thing, a good thing happens. So this is all about saying, guys, that as I said it with the first three cards, in the recent past you probably lost something, but the more this lunar cycle takes effect upon you, the more you're gonna realize that actually this wasn't a loss, but it was a win, okay? So maybe your boyfriend or a girlfriend kicked you out while they made you a big favor. Maybe you have lost your job right now. Well, you actually won, because now you have the time, the energy, and as well the determination to find something much better for yourself. And then we do have the energies that are going to surround you. We do have the High Priestess. So what the energies are going to do for you, now that sounds a little bit superficial, but these energies, guys, first will give you the patience you need in order to make these calm decisions without being way too oppressed from the circumstances. As well, the card is going, the energies are going to help you make deductions about what you need to do from now on by consulting yourself with your subconscious. So these energies are going to bring your subconscious into play, and that's a big deal. If you listen to that inner voice, which you will have during this lunar cycle, that will seem to be a voice of intuition, but actually is a voice, guys, of facts you knew, but it's just you forgot about them, okay? You can make a very sound strategies for yourself, and as well take a very beneficial decisions for yourself. So that was for Capricorn. Now let me shuffle and we will go to Aquarius. All right. So for Aquarius, the first card that shows up the topic of the lunar cycle, that will be the Ace of Swords, and then we do have the King of Swords as a challenge. Ten of Cups, it is the intentions, what one needs to have, and the fourth card, it is the lesson, what one needs to learn during this lunar cycle. That will be the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands is the energies which are going to help you. So it does look like that this lunar cycle will be a cycle of conflicts with you. I mean, you will try to get in tune, you know, and get synchronized with someone around you from a great authority. Here it is what we do have: a person who is capable to alter outcomes, person who has a great amount of influence and of power, person who can really grant you the green light you require or the resources you require in order to push forward with your ideas or with your projects. The real problem here, guys, is to prove your projects and ideas lucrative or beneficial to that person. So what it is exactly the thing in that particular reading is the honesty you can present to that guy, and also to show them how determined you are to chase that particular agenda of yours that you do have into your mind. Because the Ace of Swords is showing that this particular cycle, the circumstances which are worsening and worsening and worsening around you are going to push you in such a state where you have nothing else to lose, you know, in that particular area of your life. And because you have nothing to lose anymore, you will make those very brave steps to improve your personal circumstances, and not just your personal circumstances, but as well the circumstances in your situation. So what happens here is that you will be able to reach a certain point of emotional satisfaction with the job well done, either into your career or either into your relationship. The problem is that these people here is not going to be very convinced, you know. They will see your enthusiasm and they will see your tenacity about chasing that particular goal, either one relationship. Let's say that this is about relationship, this is about someone you want to be with, okay? But they cannot see how far you can go with them, and regardless of how much you're saying that you love them, regardless of how much proof you are placing in front of them verbally, I'm talking about how much, you know, you this is the only thing you want, they're not very convinced that you actually love them, but they are more convinced that this is a challenge for you, and as soon as you overcome that challenge, you will focus on something else. So seeing that this person is walking away and away, more away, they got more distant, that will force you, because you have nothing to lose, that will force you to make some actions. Instead of words, now you're going to work actions. And even though you're going to stabilize the positions, you will get in touch again back, you will get more closer to that person, they will still not be very convinced. And why is that, guys? Because we do have the Ten of Pentacles as a lesson, and this shows that you are forgetting a very important detail when you're trying to convince someone or a circle of society that your idea, your wish, or, you know, basically your statements are right and they are the one that needs to be followed. The trust. You need first to focus on the trust and build up a trust in between you, the person, or the circle of society you're trying to win on your side, and then you can start explaining your ideas. So there is a fundamental issues in between you and that guy, girl, or as I said, circle of society that needs to be repaired. And that will be, fortunately and unfortunately, the very last chance for you to regain or gain, in case you haven't even had it, the trust back into these people. And after this is completed, so for example, if your relationship is going in is taking a very bad turn, this is because your partner simply doesn't trust you anymore for a certain reason, and you need to regain back the trust within them. After that, only after that, you can start sharing your ideas for the relationship, not before that. Same goes for your career. And then we do have the energies. That will be the Ace of Wands, and it kind of strengthens the Ace of Swords here, saying that the more the situation worsens, the more aggressive you will become, which is a good thing, and the more heroism you will show. So that will show that out of desperation, it's not really a desperation, but it is how it's going to look like, Aquarius, is that you are ready to do anything in order to regain back the person you're losing, or regaining back the job that you're losing, and that will help you regain back the trust that you once lost, in case you have lost it, or it will help you to kind of like ignite the spark of trust into those which are not willing to give it to you until now. All right, so that was for Aquarius, and now we are going to Pisces. Pisces, for you, the topic of the lunar cycle is going to be the Four of Pentacles. Then we do have challenges, guys, which is the Seven of Swords. Three of Cups comes as intention-wise. Okay. Then we do have the Eight of Wands as a lesson that you need to learn. And then we do have the Eight of Swords as a energies which are going to help you. All right. So for what it seems, this is going to be a stable cycle for you. It does look like that your plans are going to move on exactly the way you are trying to execute them. You will be as lucrative as possible into tackling with your projects, and as well as comfortable as possible in your relationship. What is the problem here, guys, is that you will become more of a solo player. Okay, the more you move on into that lunar cycle, the more singularity you will start obtaining, which is good from one side, because it does look like that you will start regaining more personal independence. But from another side, people will start feeling that you are a little bit off, that you are not a part of the team anymore. Okay. So what you can do here, we do have the Three of Cups, and that card is showing up that you can attend to those seemingly meaningless activities, either with your coworker or with your partner into one relationship, just so you can start sharing more emotional connections with them. This card is all about, guys, expressing your emotional state to those people, so they can see that you're not afraid to open yourself emotionally. And when one opens themselves emotionally in front of the others, that instantly speaks for a trust building, and as well it instantly speaks that you are accepting them as someone, as a part of the family or of a very close social circle. As well as the card, it is pointing out, guys, that these mutual experiences or teamworks as well, if it comes to your career, is going to open your vision. And gosh, this is all about, it's your vision here that you need to work with, because we have the energies. These energies are going to support you, and for the first time since I'm doing these cards, they are helping you, and in the same time they are working against you, because we have a very narrow-minded person that you can be, simply dived in one plan and one strategy without even wanting to hear anything about reconstruction of your relationship or of your career. So it's kind of like you will be pretty much how can I place it? Not just ignorant, but stubborn, not to try out something, not to experience something new. For example, let's say a coworker of yours is approaching you with, "Look, man, let's do that thing. You know, let's try it out." And you say, "No, it's simply way too risky. You know, we can't afford that at this very moment. It will be a waste of time, etc., etc." So they will help you to stabilize your positions, you know, those energies with the eight of with the Eight of Swords. But in the same time, as more you stabilizing your positions and your patterns and your code of conduit, where everybody will play by your rules, the more you're depriving yourself from the newness in the life. And this is the lesson you need to learn, guys, that sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone and just go with the flow. Going against the flow most of the time grants you only struggle, because you are trying to swim against it, and when you swim against it you need to put an extra effort. And should you be able to beat it, well, that remains to be seen. So for you, during this lunar cycle, Pisces, it seems that your positions are strong enough for you to afford, you know, to go a little bit off your plans and to try different things for yourself, you know, kind of like different enterprises into your relationship, as well as different strategies into your career. Who knows, you may end up lucrative out of them. And seeing the third card here, guys, the Three of Cups, if you go for it, especially if you are involved into a teamwork with other people, it does look like that you're gonna win for yourself, of course, quite a lot of friends, and not just friends, but also people that you can start sharing either misfortune or fortune as well, which means that you will simply not be alone. Otherwise, going for the security here, going for the stability, going for the already known patterns for you, Pisces, is gonna give you monetary success. That's without any question. But that monetary success will start creating within you lonely and empty existence, because you will have no one to share it with apart from maybe your children and your family. But I mean, the good experiences that you may have, but these things, in case your family and children, you know, you have a really good connection, you will have it nonetheless, either way. So it's all about a decision here for you, Pisces. Should you be going by the book, strictly by the book, and with that risking that your co-workers and your friends see in you someone very arid, someone who is incapable to experience joy, just to be playful, you know, time to time when the situation allows it? Or should you be more with a mindset of contributing, you know, to the common experience for the sake of the experience itself, and allow yourself to experience as well the emotions which are provoked from the experience itself? So this was the tarot, guys, for the Libra, for the full moon in Libra. That was the second part. The first part is already up on the YouTube channel. In case you missed it, in your star sign is in between Aries and Virgo. It is where you're gonna find it. In case you're interested in a private reading with me, everything you need to know about it will be listed down there in the description of this video. And that being said, guys, you take care now. See you next time. Bye.